Hey, friends. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hallmarkies. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined today by my good friend, Dara, to talk about Hats Off to Love, starring Jenna Claire Mason, Holly Robinson Pete, and John Clarence Stewart. It was written by Amy Barrett, Austin Highsmith Garces, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any names here, Uma Incrosi, and Bruce D. Johnson. And it was directed by Amy Barrett. Stella designs hats and fascinators for socialite Rosalind and meets her son Christian, who's training a horse to compete in the Louisville Derby. Welcome to the podcast, Dara. I'm excited to have you.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you for having me. It's good to be
Of
back.
course.
It's been a long
Yes.
time.
Yes. Almost a year, I think.
Almost a year to the day, which is funny. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
hmm
We talked
hmm
about Brendan and Lacey's movie, His and Hers.
Which I just rewatched like a few weeks ago. So
It's a great
yeah,
movie.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yes. So, what were your first impressions on Hats Off to Love?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect at first because I'm like, she
Hmm.
makes hats.
Yeah.
How like captivating can this
Yeah.
be, you know?
Yeah.
But I was really surprised. I was really surprised at how strong the story was. I appreciated that it was a derby scene in the spring,
Hmm.
which was when the actual Kentucky Derby was going on in real life. So I thought that that was so cute. And
Hmm.
Jenna Claire Mason is becoming, she's
Yeah.
she's all right with me. Like she hasn't
Yeah.
made a bad movie yet. And so she was super charming in this movie. And I enjoyed myself and I enjoyed the ride. What about you?
I really enjoyed it too. I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie of the year, but
hmm
I love Jenna Claire Mason too.
hmm
She always does a great job. So
Agree.
I think my first impression is how do we get tickets to the Derby? Because I've never been, but it looks like a lot of fun.
I know to dress up and do the
Yeah.
hats and do all the things. It does look fun.
Yes. Highs, lows, and plot holes. What were some of the strengths and weaknesses of this movie for you?
I think the biggest weakness for me was the assistant kind of being our villain and telling Jenna's character, you know, kind of like sabotaging her experience, if you will. And I felt like that wasn't necessary. Like to me, it didn't land well. And so every time she did something, I just got really annoyed and I was just like, why? And so that was probably my least favorite part of the movie. But I think a really good strength, which I think should always be a strength in any of our Hallmark
Mhm.
movies, is the chemistry between John Clarence Stewart and Jenna Claire Mason. I thought they had fantastic chemistry and I believed them wholeheartedly together. Their meet cute was probably one of my favorites of the year. Just the way that they like it was so bizarre. Like but I because it had like how quickly it happened and
Yep.
because it was like right at the beginning, I was just like, oh, we're doing this. Oh, okay. And so I think how their relationship developed over the movie was the biggest strength for me.
So the chemistry for me, it's not necessarily a low.
hmm
They did have great chemistry, but it's not a chemistry that like absolutely blew me away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then another low, it was a little predictable in places. Maybe like you were saying, an example could be the villain.
hmm
So Hannah,
hmm
like
hmm
really, was that really necessary?
hmm That makes sense.
And
Yeah.
my highs, I loved the premise, very unique. That's not
Yes.
something we've ever seen on Hallmark before
Agreed.
with the
Agreed.
Derby,
Yes.
the
Yes.
scenery, and I think if I remember correctly, it was filmed somewhere in Florida, which
Oh, I did
was,
not know that.
yeah, which Florida has some beautiful areas.
Yes.
for their
Yes.
choices.
Oh my goodness, yes. I have to agree with you about a strength being the uniqueness of the plot
Hmm.
of this movie. I think
Yeah.
that that's something that, as Hallmark kind of figures itself out,
Hmm.
I I appreciated that we still had a little bit
Hmm.
of those familiar, charming Hallmark beats, but
Yeah.
they put it into something that we've never seen or experienced before.
Yeah.
And so thinking about it, I definitely agree with you that I think that that was a really I enjoyed that aspect as well.
Yeah. So talking about the scenery in horse country in Florida. So
Hmm.
I just have to mention this because when me and my mom and my dad and my brother drove down to the Gulf side of Florida for my 30th birthday. So our destination was Pensacola.
I
But
was just there. That's so funny. I
yes,
was just there.
yes, that's awesome. But one of those areas we drove through was Monticello, I think. I had no idea before we drove down there that there were so many horse farms down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So also another high, going back to the movie, solid
Hmm.
acting. I think
Hmm.
I had a nice balance of humor and heart. I loved the mother-son relationship with Rosalind and Christian.
Yes. Oh, I loved Holly Robinson Pete. I missed
She's
her
great.
so much. I was
Yeah.
so happy to see her on screen. That I
Hmm.
think just warmed my heart. I loved it so much.
Yes. And also the best friend relationship with Stella and Annie was
That
nice.
was really cute. Yeah.
Hmm.
Really, really cute for sure.
And I think my last high is great supporting cast.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Yeah, no notes.
Yeah, no
No
notes.
notes.
Yeah. So our next segment, Beyond the Credits, what did you think about the character development of all of these characters in the movie? Starting with Stella.
I appreciated her character development the most. And it wasn't just because she was the main character, but I think kind of where first her kind of finding her footing, gaining her self-confidence. That's something that I can personally relate to. So I'll always kind of that will always stick out to
Mm-hmm.
me if that's a part of the character's arc. And so having her being sure in her being a designer and, doing stuff that's out of the box and unorthodox and unique, much like this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I love that she was able to grow and stand on that and know that, hey, no, I am a good hat designer. I know what I bring to the space. I know what I can contribute. And the way she's able to vibe with people and make a hat, like the way she was able to incorporate the different aspects of Rosalind's kind of history with the
Mm-hmm.
derby, but also her personally, I think that that's beautiful. And so I definitely appreciated that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, me too. So with Stella, a hopeful outsider, she transforms into a confident creative partner.
Mm,
She navigates that high society. She earns
hmm.
respect through ingenuity and compassion and kindness,
Yes.
which I loved.
She was
Kill
better
them
than
with
me.
kindness.
Yes, because when I was like, "Oh, you just gonna be nice," I was like, "No, you're right. You should be nice," because the stuff that Hannah was doing, I was just again dumbfounded. But like you said, she killed her with kindness. Like even Hannah coming around a little bit, although that was kind of jarring for me. My petty self wanted justice. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
no, she needs to be something needs to
Mhm.
happen because of all the sabotage that's happened. But
Yeah.
you know, that's the price of being kind is also
Yeah.
mercy and extending
Yes.
mercy.
We do see early on that she does make mistakes that test her confidence, but she perseveres, doesn't give up, and she doesn't give up by suggesting new themes, like you just said, rooted in the family history
Mhm.
that secure her place and lead to reconciliation with those who doubted her. Cough,
Mhm.
cough, Hannah.
We're talking to you, Hannah.
And then what did you think about Rosalind, Christian, Odette, and Hannah's arc in this movie?
So let me see. Rosalind. Okay, let me start with the guy first. It's hard for me to see Christian's arc because I feel like it was more so his romantic connection to Stella. So it was hard for me. Like I knew it was coming because again, his arc is just like, oh, you like her now. Like, so like that didn't really impact me. And Rosalind, I had to get beyond the Holly Robinson Pete of it all, of her
Yeah.
being there. But I liked that she was older because again, we don't see a lot of older women being a part of this on, and to me, it felt more like an ensemble. Like she was right in the thick of it with everybody else, and we haven't had that in a long time, and so it was good to see her there. But I think just her grappling with her not grappling, but like appreciating her family's history and their contribution to the derby world, or what they call it. That was beautiful to see, and to even see her at the end, I do appreciate that scene of her just like wanting to win, wanting to win the best hat contest, and her finally getting it. That was so beautiful to see because it's like, oh, like you could tell that her Rosalind is a character, like her heart was just so full from it. And Odette, she didn't have as much of an arc visibly like as other characters did. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. So for me, Rosalind, we see that she is a refined socialite. She's confident, but
Mm-hmm.
she does make mistakes. I mean, nobody's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but she also values tradition and status and shows vulnerability when Stella's creativity upstages her expectations. And I just love how, we see her like that in the beginning, and then she eventually becomes a mentor for
Mm-hmm.
Stella,
Mm-hmm.
giving her a
Mm-hmm.
chance to prove herself. And Rosalind makes decisions that foster ambition rather than stifle it, like Hannah.
We're talking to you, Hannah.
And then Odette, she didn't have as much of an arc, but she did have a little bit. So in the beginning, she's a little bit dismissive, skeptical of Stella's talent, but eventually she warms to her and softens with her judgment and becomes somewhat of a partner to her, which I loved.
Yeah. Yeah, and to think that this is all because she snuck into her hotel room.
Yes, we'll talk about that scene in a minute because Hannah, we see that she embodies someone with jealousy and sabotage,
Mm-hmm.
spreading false information, like
Mm-hmm.
with the rival Davidson,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
making Christian believe that they were a thing. Not cool.
Not cool at all.
And that briefly, of course, derails Stella and Christian, but in the end, she admits fault and apologizes, which I loved.
Yeah.
Christian, I just love how he's skeptical in the beginning too, but very early on, we see him become her ally, helping her understand derby etiquette, and he offers inside guidance in exchange for her assistance with Willa. And his jealousy, which is fueled by Hannah's
False.
accusations,
Yeah,
yeah,
falsehood. Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
causes some emotional distance, but in the end, he gives a heartfelt apology and pursues Stella, which shows emotional maturity. So, way
Mm-hmm.
to go, Christian. And I think this is the first time I'm seeing John on Hallmark. He's great.
Yes, yes. And it's funny because I think he just got picked up for a show. So I don't know if we're going to see if which
Mm,
congratulations to him, but bummer for
yeah,
us.
he's great.
He's so great. I would have loved to see a Christmas movie with him. I think he
Yeah.
would have been
Yes.
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah. So, scene stealers, what were your three best scenes of the movie?
Honestly, I have two. And
Okay.
so I'll start with like second and then the first. So the second, and you
Okay.
may mention this,
Yeah.
is the opening scene. Her just being like
Yeah.
doing the most, like breaking into this woman's hotel room. I was literally just like, this is what we're doing. But the fact that he wasn't like, he was just like, what are you doing? But then he wasn't super put out by it, or like,
Hmm.
I was just like, oh, okay. So he's kind of digging the situation. I thought that it was bonkers. I thought it was crazy, but I
Hmm.
think that set the tone for the rest of the
Hmm.
movie for me. And I was like, okay. So this is not kind of like, I thought it was, again, based off of what the synopsis was. I thought it was going to be way more boring than what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Just from this opening scene alone told me all
Yeah.
that I needed to know. And then my absolute favorite scene is when Stella and Christian are finally going on their date, and he rings the doorbell, and then her friend opens the door, and he stands there, and it's that quintessential
Hmm.
Hallmark stare, but
Yeah.
he doesn't. And like how his is vastly different from all
Hmm.
of our other leading men that have done it, is that you can
Hmm.
really see him kind of scan, like literally look her over, like take in
Hmm.
what he's looking at right now. Like he's
Yeah.
just not looking at her face, because I've seen in a lot of movies the guy will just stay like, I don't see him actually
Hmm.
looking, like looking her
Yeah.
like taking in on, and he
Hmm.
did that, and I was just I like I said
Yeah.
I was beside myself. And so that I said that Mr. John Clarence Stewart, based off of that alone, we need you back at the network. Please,
Come
congratulations,
on.
but we need you back at Hallmark.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that was by far my favorite scene of them.
Yes. Yes. So I'm breaking my own rule here. I have more than three. I think I have
Ooh!
maybe four. It's hard to pick like three from a lot of these movies because they're so good.
Yeah, yeah.
But my first is Christian and Stella's walk. He's holding the
The
rope or whatever,
reins. Yeah,
the reins.
yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
That's why I'm here. I got your back. I got your back.
Thank you. And she shares how she decided to become a milliner, and he's talking about, how he started working with horses. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then their brief talk about rules of high society and his encouragement. That's when he brings her dinner. She's feeling a little
Mhm.
bit stressed over the hat
Mhm.
competition.
That
And
was a cute moment. Yeah.
yes. And I think this is probably my top favorite scene in the movie, the
Hmm.
hat competition and Rosalind's speech. That
Mm.
was great.
Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then, of course, who doesn't love a good victory moment with Wildflower Wish or Willa winning the Derby?
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. And also love the meet cute. Are you sure you have the right room? Because my mother never eats breakfast. I never knew there were hats on the menu. The
That was
most
clever.
comedic moment of this scene was when Stella was hiding and Christian was covering for her or trying to
Yes,
cover for
trying
her.
to like, yes.
And he was like, "Is that a roach?" Referring to the bug on the lily flower.
That was great. Like the whole diversion was just well played, and well diverted. Loved
Yep.
it.
And
Loved it
then,
so much.
"Is that a man on that tree?" "Oh no, it's just a bird."
Ah.
And then he's like pretending to clear his throat
Hmm.
to cover
Hmm.
for the door being closed.
It was great. That, like, again, that scene I think set the tone for me and was like, oh, this is going to be a really good movie.
Yes. Also, Stella singing to Willa before the race
Mm.
was great.
Yes, beautiful. Because you can tell it was
Hmm.
live, like it wasn't
Hmm.
studio
Yeah.
recorded, and she was lip syncing. Like you can tell she was doing it right then and there. It was so
Yep.
beautiful.
So behind the frame, what were some themes for you in this movie?
Much like what I mentioned about the character arcs, just in terms of like creative confidence, that's
Hmm.
something that's really big
Yeah.
with me as a creator of different things. I
Hmm.
often have to remind myself of who I am, who gifted me with this creativity. Like that's something that I have to almost
Hmm.
daily kind of
Yeah.
like remind myself in that and maintaining my creative confidence because
Yeah.
I do feel like I have it now, but it took a long way to get here. So that was something that definitely resonates with me for sure.
Yeah. So for me, following your dreams and pursuing your passion. So of course we
Mm,
see that with Stella. She is a determined milliner who dreams of winning the Bradbury Prize for
yeah.
Best Derby Hat. And she doesn't give up despite all the obstacles that she faces and unexpected collaboration and mutual growth. So this could be applied to, the moment when Christian and Stella decide to work together. So them working together and collaborating, I think it helps both of them grow and make each other better.
I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
And I also second what you said about perseverance because I think that kind of goes hand in hand
Hmm.
with creativity. Like when you get like a writer's block, or if you feel like something isn't clicking, like I think pushing forward, even despite
Hmm.
that, is something that's so necessary. And so I want to
Yes.
piggyback off of that with you as well.
Yes. And it's kind of ironic that all these reviews I'm doing lately have some relevance to following your dreams, pushing through the obstacles. Like,
Mm,
I just started going back and reviewing old When Calls the Heart
Was
seasons.
that a theme?
Yes, so one episode that I just reviewed, there was a scene in the school with one of Elizabeth's students. She was reciting an essay that she wrote about her father's piece of coal that she was given. And her father called it the pearl of great price. And the message or symbolism in that is that all treasures worth digging for always come at a price. So it could relate to this in, anything that is worth having, you got to go through some obstacles to get to that dream, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So another theme, authenticity and Southern charm. So, it leans
Mm-hmm.
heavily into, Southern elegance, social formality,
Mm-hmm.
the extravagant hats,
Mm-hmm. High
and
society.
yep,
Yeah.
Stella's
Mm-hmm.
character represents authenticity, humility, and rural roots. So she stays true to
Mm-hmm.
herself, healing and second chances. So Rosalind's arc reflects the embrace of new chapters in life and her realizing it's never too late to go for it in life.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
And then villainy and rivalry, of course, with Hannah.
Yeah. And sabotage.
Yeah. Sabotage. What is the overall message you took away from this film?
I think it's a culmination of kind of both of what we said in terms of like never give up and pursue your dreams and persevering in
Yeah,
spite of what it may seem, in spite of how crazy
yeah,
people may think you are to break into somebody's hotel room so you
yeah,
can leave them a hat because
hmm,
you want to end up designing like it's your dream to design this woman's hat, like to
yeah,
go through the most dramatic lengths, but you have such a heart and a passion for it.
hmm,
I think that is definitely the overall message is just
yeah.
like keep going.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed. So
Yeah.
the message I took away, believing in yourself, embracing
Yeah.
unexpected partnerships, and
Oh, that's
finding love
good.
through
Yeah.
shared purpose.
Yeah. Unexpected partnerships. Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yes. So final frame, what are your closing thoughts on this movie? Watch or skip, and then a rating on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yes, I think this was a swing and a hit for Hallmark. I really enjoyed my time in Kentucky in this movie
Yeah.
with the Derby. I enjoyed learning about high
Yeah.
society, the hats, the colors. I also feel like this movie
Hmm.
was very colorful.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that too, like aesthetically. And this movie is definitely a rewatch. It's definitely a
Hmm.
watch.
Yeah.
And not just a background watch, but kind of like a sit and watch. I would sit and watch it again.
Yeah.
And I give this movie a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So my closing thoughts, loved the actors. They're all great. Great chemistry, I think, with everyone. Everyone had
Hmm.
great dynamics with each other. The costumes, like some of Jenna Claire's dresses and outfits, I would
Hmm.
totally wear.
Yeah, that
Like,
was good.
I think my favorite was the pink and green floral one with the bow, like the tie in the front.
Yes.
I
Yes.
loved that one.
Pretty. It was pretty colored too. Like again, like
Yeah.
the colors were
Hmm.
just gorgeous throughout this
Yeah.
movie.
It's a watch for me, definitely.
Hmm.
And rating, I think I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 too.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, this was so much fun, Dara. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time, as always.
Yes, thank you for having me. I look forward to
Yes.
being back.
Yes. For Christmas,
Yes,
probably.
indeed. Which is right around the corner because it
Yes.
starts in the middle of October. So
Yes. Well, where can my listeners find you on social media if they are not following you already?
sure. So my account is called Dear Hallmark, and that's DEAR Hallmark, and that's the name of my podcast that you can find wherever your ear takes in podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's also the name of my YouTube channel if you want to find reviews that I may not cover on the podcast.
Yes. Well, everyone, Hallmarkies, if you're not following her already, go do it because her podcast is awesome.
Well, thank you, Nicole.
Of course. Yes. Of course. Anytime. Can't wait to have you back on.
Oh, I can't wait to be back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Hallmarkies. Well, I think that wraps up our review of Hats Off to Love. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about it in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow along on Spotify, and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when those new episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.